Humans have a natural tendency to mimic the behavior of others, a phenomenon known as mirroring. The human brain processes faces more quickly than anything else. Dopamine is released when you learn something new, which is why learning feels so rewarding. Smiling even when you're not happy can trick your brain into feeling better. The color blue can have a calming effect on your mind. When people are stressed, they can overthink simple decisions. Humans are hardwired to seek social connections, and loneliness can be just as harmful as smoking. Our memories are not as reliable as we think. They are highly influenced by emotions. The placebo effect works even if you know you're taking a placebo. Listening to music can trigger memories and emotions. By activating areas of the brain related to memory, people tend to conform to group norms. So even if they know it's wrong, your body language can affect your confidence. Standing tall makes you feel more powerful. Your brain cannot process negative information without first interpreting it positively. People are more likely to be persuaded by someone they view as similar to themselves. The halo effect can cause people to judge a person's entire character based on one positive trait. 16. Nostalgia can make you feel happier and more content. 17. The human brain is capable of forming new neural connections throughout life. 18. Your subconscious mind can control up to 95% of your actions. The more choices you have, the harder it is to make decisions, a phenomenon called decision fatigue. Stress can literally shrink your brain over time, especially if prolonged. Laughter can actually reduce physical pain by releasing endorphins in the brain. People are more likely to help others if they are asked directly. The brain releases oxytocin, the love hormone, during social bonding. It's easier to remember negative experiences than positive ones, due to our brain's survival instincts. The foot in the door technique is a psychological strategy used to make people more likely to agree to larger requests. The brain doesn't perceive online interactions as less real than in-person interactions. Humans are more likely to trust people who make eye contact. When someone is speaking to you, their tone of voice is more important than their words. Procrastination is often a result of fear of failure or perfectionism. Our brains are wired to avoid cognitive dissonance, meaning we try to align our actions with our beliefs to avoid discomfort. Smell can trigger stronger memories than any other sense. People are more likely to remember negative comments than positive ones. Playing video games can improve your brain's ability to make quick decisions. Your posture can influence how you feel about yourself and others. The anchoring effect can make people heavily rely on the first piece of information they receive when making decisions. People are more likely to engage in risky behavior if they are in a group setting. The foot in the door technique works by making people more likely to agree to a larger request after agreeing to a smaller one. Sleep deprivation impairs your ability to make logical decisions. People tend to overestimate their abilities after having a small amount of success, known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Our brains are wired to detect patterns even where there are none, which explains superstitions. The way you speak can affect the way people perceive your intelligence. People tend to trust people who smile more than those who don't. Being around nature can improve your mental health. When you're around other people, your body temperature tends to rise, especially in group settings. Most people will lie about themselves in a resume to seem more appealing to employers. Psychological distance, the feeling of being emotionally distant from a situation, can reduce empathy. Your brain doesn't fully mature until you're in your 20s. People's emotions can be contagious through body language and facial expressions. When people are stressed, they often try to clutter their environment to distract themselves. Your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone, when you think about something negative or traumatic. When people feel watched, they tend to act more honestly and ethically. Cognitive biases often prevent people from changing their opinions, even with new evidence. We are more likely to be influenced by people who seem more similar to us than by experts. The bystander effect shows that people are less likely to help when others are present. People who frequently engage in self-affirmation tend to have better coping mechanisms. Your facial expressions can influence how you feel. Acting happy can actually make you feel happier. When people take notes by hand, they retain information better than when typing. People tend to overestimate their abilities when they are part of a group. Social loafing. Learning a new language can physically change your brain and improve cognitive flexibility. The mere exposure effect suggests that people tend to like things more the more they are exposed to them. Your emotional responses can be shaped by your surroundings, like the lighting or music in a room. Most people are more creative when they are alone, rather than in group settings. Fear can lead people to make irrational decisions, based on emotion rather than logic. Humans have a tendency to favor immediate rewards over long-term goals. Instant gratification. Your childhood environment can shape the way your brain processes stress later in life. The halo effect makes people judge a person's overall character based on a single trait. People are more likely to be charitable when they feel good about themselves. The foot in the door technique can work on virtually any request, as long as it starts small. Being in a bad mood can make you more critical of others. Humans have a tendency to prefer things that are familiar to them, even if they are of lower quality. The halo effect is why attractive people are often assumed to be more intelligent and capable. People are more likely to follow a rule if they are given a reason, even if the reason is trivial. Our brains can trick us into thinking we are better at multitasking than we actually are. When people see someone in distress, their instinct is to look around to see if others are reacting first. The mere exposure effect suggests that repeated exposure to something can increase your fondness for it. People are more likely to remember the first and last items in a list. The halo effect extends to how we view products and services based on their brand. Humans are naturally inclined to want to impress others, which is why we care so much about our appearance. Social media can alter your perception of reality, often making you feel inadequate. People are more likely to be persuaded by someone they believe to be an expert or authority figure.